In Season 1 of Manifest, the passengers aboard Montego Air Flight 828 depart from Jamaica in 2013, but upon their arrival in New York City, they discover that the date was now November 4th, 2018, and that they had somehow jumped forward over 5 years in time. And it's not just the time jump that the passengers have to worry about, as they each begin hearing voices guiding them for a specific mission. The NSA and its director Robert Vance begin to look into the truth behind the plane's disappearance and urges all of the passengers to not speak of their experience with anyone. And as for those passengers, the world presumed them dead, leading to a lot of complications upon their return. Michaela Stone was an NYPD detective engaged to fellow detective Jared before Flight 828. Upon her return, she discovers that Jared has married her best friend Lourdes. Despite this, Michaela and Jared begin to rekindle their romance, leading Jared to file for a divorce from Lourdes. Michaela's brother Ben was aboard Flight 828 with his young son Cal, who had recently been diagnosed with terminal cancer. Ben's wife Grace and their daughter Olive, Cal's twin, had been forced to board a separate flight out of Jamaica. During the 5-year absence, Grace began dating a man named Danny, whom Olive began to look up to as her new father figure. Grace breaks up with Danny to reconcile with Ben upon his return, but the relationship is now strained. Eventually, Grace reveals to Ben that she was pregnant, but that Danny was likely the father. Meanwhile, Cal struggles with his twin sister and all of his friends, now being 5 years older than him. Dr. Sanvi Ball is a medical researcher aboard Flight 828 who returns home to discover that in the 5 years she was missing, her research has saved the lives of hundreds of pediatric cancer patients. This research could prove vital in saving Cal's life. Sanvi also begins researching the blood of the Flight 828 passengers, discovering they all have abnormalities in their blood, which are typically produced after having an ischemic stroke. The only passenger who doesn't hear the mysterious guiding voices is Cal Stone. Although he doesn't hear the voices, he still has other unique abilities that begin to manifest. One day, Cal develops a fever and begins speaking in Bulgarian, which Ben realizes must be connected to a Bulgarian Flight 828 passenger named Marco, who hadn't been seen since the plane's landing. Ben and Michaela discover a bus with 11 Flight 828 passengers, all foreign nationals with no next of kin, had gone missing. Ben confronts Vance about the missing passengers, believing the NSA to be involved, but Vance is just as alarmed by the news and offers his help on the investigation. Michaela and Jared discover that the missing passengers were taken by the mysterious company Unified Dynamic Systems, or UDS, to be experimented on. Ben takes a low-level job at UDS to infiltrate the company and discover their secrets. This leads him to Fiona Clark, a Flight 828 passenger who now worked for the mysterious UDS-led Singularity Project. Fiona helps Ben, Vance, Michaela, and Jared locate the Singularity Project's secret base, where the group engages in a shootout to save the missing passengers from the Singularity Project's experiments. The missing passengers are saved, but an accidental explosion kills Vance and seriously injures Jared. Meanwhile, Flight 828's pilot, Captain Bill Daly, has had his life ruined after taking most of the blame for the plane's disappearance. Looking to absolve his name and prove that a burst of gamma rays known as dark lightning was responsible for the mysterious event, Bill kidnaps Fiona due to her association with the Singularity Project and flies a stolen plane into another dark lightning storm. Bill and Fiona's plane disappears, although the Air National Guard claims it was shot down. Sanvi is taken hostage by a woman named Alice, who holds the doctor at gunpoint and forces her to try to save her cancer-stricken husband. Alice was a member of the Church of the Returned, who believed that the Flight 828 passengers could all perform miracles and wouldn't release Sanvi until her husband was healed. Ben and Michaela rescue Sanvi, who begins to suffer from PTSD. To manage her PTSD, Sanvi begins seeing a therapist. Unbeknownst to Sanvi, that therapist was secretly the Major, head of the Singularity Project. Cal begins having visions urging him to a remote cabin to save a man caught in a blizzard. At the cabin, Cal, Ben, and Grace rescue a hiker named Zeke, who took shelter from the blizzard in a cave 2 weeks ago and came out to discover that a full year had passed. When Sanvi studies Zeke's blood, she discovers it has the same unique markers as the Flight 828 passengers. Meanwhile, Michaela is assigned to investigate a getaway van found in the East River 3 days after an armed robbery. When the van is pulled from the river, its driver, James Griffin, is still alive. When Sanvi investigates his